Lakers are on the brink of falling off that cliff tonight. LA turned things around towards the end of the regular season, got into the play-in tournament, then entered the playoffs as the 7th seed. Didn't have much of a problem getting to the third round, but have they met their match with the Denver Nuggets. The number 1 seed in the West beat the Lakers 119-108 Saturday in LA. Lakers are now 1 loss away from being swept in the Western Conference Finals. Denver just 1 win away from their first ever NBA Finals since joining the NBA from the ABA. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Miami with the Heat already up 2-0 on the Celtics. Boston makes a game of it early. Jaylen Brown, the baseline jumper. Celtics up 16-14. Led midway through the first quarter, but that was it. Celtics luck right out. Caleb Martin goes on a 5-0 run to give Miami a 30-22 lead after 1. Second quarter, Gabe Vincent comes alive, knocked him down to 3. He finished with 29, team high. The Heat have relied on Jimmy Butler to close out games this series, and he wasn't needed in the crunch time last night. Miami wins it in a dominant fashion, 128-102, handing Boston their largest playoff defeat in franchise history. So here's an update on the conference finals in the East. The Heat are up 3-0. They can sweep on Tuesday, and the Nuggets can sweep the Lakers in Game 4 tonight. That's at 7:30. All right. Take a look at this. Spurs fans are ready to see the team hit the court with the top pick. Came demand for season tickets. The Spurs saw that rise almost right away. Saturday morning at the AT&T Center, fans who bought full season ticket plans or the 10-game package got to pick the seats in the Select the Seat event. They expected around 3,000 fans to attend. There's some happy faces in the crowd, that's for sure. Look at all those seats. They're going to be gone because this is going to be a great season. The Spurs will hold another one of these events this Thursday. And the San Antonio Gunslingers swept their 4-game road trip. They are now 5-0 overall this season in the National Arena League, the only undefeated team left. Over the weekend, the Gunslingers won the first Battle of Texas, winning at the West Texas Warbirds 38-36. 4 of their 5 wins have come by 2 points or less. Gunslingers are back home Sunday, May 28th, when they host the Jacksonville Sharks at 3 o'clock at the Freedom Coliseum. All right, now to a fairy tale ending at the PGA Championship, one of golf's major tournaments. Brooks Koepka won the title, but as ABC's Will Reeve tells us, it was a 46-year-old club pro who teaches golf lessons at a public course in California who stole the show.
Brooks Koepka waking up the new PGA champion, winning his 5th major title and the first for any defector to the rival Saudi-backed LIV Tour. But all eyes on the unlikely hero he hugged as he walked off the course. That's 46-year-old Michael Block, a club pro whose mind-boggling slam dunk hole-in-one on the 15th hole.
At the 15th. The fairy tale story gets better. The hole-in-one for Michael Block
Was the exclamation point on a tournament for the ages.
He still doesn't believe it, but on the fly.
Block stunned, asking superstar Rory McIlroy if he really made the shot.
No way. Rory, did it go in?
It sure did. Dumped it.
Fans at his hometown club in Mission Viejo, California, where he normally teaches lessons, erupting in cheers. Block's whole run was magical, right down to the moment he learned his final round playing partner would be McIlroy.
Are you serious? Wow. That should be fun. We're going to have a good time.
He started Sunday tied for 8th place, then sank his final putt for par, finishing the tournament tied for 15th, which means he'll be back next year, automatically qualifying for the 2024 PGA Championship.
It's amazing. I'm living a dream. I'm making sure that I enjoy this moment.
That was a dream come true right there.
Once, not even in a lifetime, in a millennium.
He airmailed that thing right into the hole.
Donk.
And then he had to ask Rory McIlroy if it went in. We'll go, yeah, it went in. Like, he thought it was like 10 feet from the hole or something. Crowd's going nuts. He thought,
so did he go back to teaching golf?
Yeah, probably raise his rates. I think it was like $150 an hour.
I bet it's more now.
I bet it is.
Do you have a doorbell cam? They're great for tracking deliveries, catching an unexpected guest, and in some cases, even criminals. It's why police departments across the country are now asking for access to yours. But what if you don't want to grant permission? Can they still see your recordings then? today at 5. 12 on your side's Marilyn Morris is going to explain your rights when it comes to the law and home surveillance.
And it is a Foodie Monday on S. Oh, look at that. We've got some Chicago cuisine. Have you heard of is it rugale? Rugala?
Rugalach.
Is it rugalach? I don't know. It just looks good. Whatever it is.
You just like food.
Yeah, whatever. It looks good. All right. We are here, and they're also going to have a deal for free coffee. Free coffee. Don't want to miss it. You are looking at massive flames in Canada. This wildfire is raging in Alberta. That's in the western part of the country. Authorities hope cooler temperatures and showers forecast for the coming week will help firefighters battling those blazes. Although storms could complicate efforts, authorities have to close some parks and campgrounds in Alberta. Canada's wildfires have since smoked the U.S., including Minnesota, Nebraska, Illinois, Wisconsin, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, and Washington, triggering air quality alerts in some places.
A volcano in Mexico still spewing ash. Today, school once again canceled in areas near Popocatépetl. Some flights had to be canceled after a nearby airport shut down several hours this weekend due to all this ash. The volcano reportedly also sending tremors into nearby communities.
More women are suing the state of Texas. They're asking a court to put an emergency block on the state's abortion law. The women are joining a lawsuit launched earlier this year by 5 other women in the state who are denied abortions despite pregnancies they say endangered their health or lives. It's why Lauren Miller joined the suit. 12 weeks into her pregnancy, Miller learned one of the twins had a rare genetic condition and would likely not survive.
It was clear I needed an abortion because every day going on, it was putting my health and our healthy twin at risk.
More than a dozen Texas women in total have joined the Center for Reproductive Rights lawsuit against the state's law, which prohibit abortions unless a mother's life is at risk, an exception that is not clearly defined.
The prevention of HPV may become half as complicated as it is now. Instead of a double dose of vaccine, researchers are now saying you need only one. Health leaders from nearly 100 countries are in Switzerland this week for the Health Organization's 76th World Health Assembly. Much of the focus on vaccines and cervical cancer. At the event, World Health leaders said giving girls just one shot would provide enough protection against cervical cancer and other HPV conditions. WHO scientists say this single-dose approach could be a game changer. The organization's goal is to have 90% of the young girls across the globe vaccinated by the time they're 15.
Outside with Live Cam, I was having a discussion with Mike and Justin earlier today about how many times we've already hit 100 last year. By this time, I think we came up with 2 or 3 already. And this year, not even close.
Well, doesn't the rain have something to do with that?
It helps. It helps a lot. Last May was just brutally hot. We did not get a lot of rain. You know, temperatures were in the triple digits for several days, 3 days there in May of 2022. We haven't gotten near 100 yet this year, and that's a good thing. We have hit the 90s, but not triple digits, and the rain has been really, really nice. I want to show you a great picture, speaking of really nice, down in Aransas Bay, Aransas Pass Bay. That is gorgeous, some beautiful colors. Water is just so smooth, and if you're heading down to the coast next couple of days, maybe over the next week or so, the forecast is going to be pretty similar. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 80s, smooth waters, seas are not that high, winds will be generally pretty light. So this is good beach weather. Not a lot of rain in the forecast down there either, and the water temperatures are now up above 80. So those beaches down there will start to get pretty busy here in the coming weeks. As we look at the KSAT 12-hour forecast, 83 at 3 o'clock. 85, 5 p.m., 83 at 7 p.m. We're down into the 70s tonight. A quiet day. But as we said earlier, there are some small chances for storms in our forecast. We'll lay out those chances and time them out if we can for you coming up here in just a bit, guys.
All right, Justin, we'll look forward to that. Now to the war in Ukraine. President Biden met with Ukrainian President Zelensky at the G7 summit, promising more aid.
ABC's Tom Burridge reports this comes as Zelensky is denying Moscow's claim that a key city has fallen to the Russians.
This morning, front line shifting in eastern Ukraine. Russia advancing in Bakhmut, its troops raising their flag on a ruined rooftop, claiming full control of that city. Ukraine denying that, saying its forces fight on in one district and are advancing in areas nearby, now trying to break through Russian lines to the north and south of Bakhmut. Ukraine claiming this video shows a Ukrainian assault brigade storming Russian positions. Our team's shown the remnants of that operation.
These American-supplied armoured personnel carriers were used in that Ukrainian assault near Bakhmut. That one suffered minor damage, but check out this one. It was hit by an anti-tank missile. Miraculously, the 2 crew inside survived.
And ABC News taken inside this top-secret command centre in eastern Ukraine. Ukrainian soldiers monitoring live drone feeds down onto the battlefield.
These drones are the view inside, in real time, of an active Ukrainian counteroffensive.
Here we watch 2 Ukrainian soldiers with their guns raised, clearing a Russian position. The commander here saying Ukrainian forces are ready for a bigger counteroffensive at any time. And as new US weaponry reaches the battlefield, President Biden putting his arm around Ukraine's President Zelensky at the G7 summit in Japan. The US promising more ammo and weapons.
We're going to continue to provide economic, humanitarian, and security assistance to Ukraine so it can stand strong as long as it needs it.
Well, a Ukrainian commander telling me new American weaponry is now filtering through. That major Ukrainian offensive expected soon, possibly to the south, as the US and allies now work to get F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine, but it's unclear when they will arrive. Tom Sufi-Burridge, ABC News, Sloviansk, Ukraine.
Robb Elementary School has a long and significant history here in Uvalde, long before the tragedy of nearly a year ago.
There was a contest at the time that the school was being built as to for whom it should be named.
The school issue came up. We took advantage of that.
My best friend was out there walking, and I did not know why. I did not understand.
People are still coming from everywhere.
Those stories and those memories in KSAT Explains, Monday at 6.
A judge has entered not guilty pleas for a man charged in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. The pleas potentially set the stage for a trial in which he could face the death penalty. Brian Koberger declined to enter pleas on his own behalf during today's arraignment. He was arrested late last year and charged with burglary and 4 counts of first-degree murder.
Another GOP candidate set to officially jump into the 2024 presidential race. Senator Tim Scott's team has been teasing a major announcement at Charleston Southern University. The South Carolina Republican filed the official paperwork to run for that office on Friday. He's been testing the waters for months now, hitting early voting states like Iowa, New Hampshire, and his home state of South Carolina. He's the only black Republican in the United States Senate, and advisors say Scott will make faith a cornerstone of his presidential campaign. Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis also expected to file his paperwork declaring his presidential candidacy this week.
Outside with live cam, good couple of days to dry out after some nice rains over the last several days. We enjoyed those.
Yeah, yesterday was just sort of a light rain most of the day. It really was nice. Didn't add up to a whole lot, but it sure is making things nice and green. So far today, 80 degrees. The low this morning was 63. That's not bad. We'll be right about average today. And yes, this is the time of year where we can start to see those triple digits. They're not in the forecast, though. We've got a good-looking forecast coming up, and we'll show it to you after the break.
We've enjoyed some good rains. Now we get to enjoy all the yard work from all of the grass that is now growing.
Why did you bring that up?
Because it's happening.
Okay. All right.
Get out the weed whacker.
Do you have a lawnmower? Have you tuned your lawnmower up? You ready to go?
I have a lawnmower, and yes, it's ready to go, but I'm not going to do it.
You know, the thing is,
that's somebody else's job.
I don't have a big yard like David does, but I actually enjoy mowing the yard because I put my headphones on.
Yeah.
You know, I love my kids, I do, but it's alone time.
That's your quiet time?
It is. It is. I
get that.
I do, but yes, the grass is growing very quickly. We've had sort of steady rain, at least as far as timing goes, over the last month. How has that helped the lakes? Let's check in on the lake levels, because just like we showed you last half hour with the beaches, the lakes are going to be busy coming up too. Amistad's 37% full. It's holding pretty steady. Now it's down 50 feet from conservation levels there. Medina's at 5%, down 83 feet. Canyon Lake's 76%, down 12 feet. And Choke Canyon is at 32%. So, not great shape, but they are improved a little bit. The rain has helped some, not in the case of Medina, but the other lakes, it's helped a little bit. And if we can get more rain, that will obviously continue to help the situation. But the lakes have, it's been several years of drought here that have taken their toll. So that's the latest there. And if you do plan to head out to the lakes over the next several days, here's what you can expect temperature-wise. And it's pretty average, upper 80s each and every day. Even as we get into the weekend. Now, it will be a little more humid as we get into the latter part of the work week and the weekend, so you'll tack on a few degrees for the feels like number, but nothing too hot. And as we go outside for you right now, we've got partly cloudy skies, light winds, 78 degrees at the airport, near 80 at both Stinson and Randolph, and 78 at Kelly. Looking at the satellite picture, we had mostly clear skies earlier, but you can see with the heating of the day, we've got some fair weather cumulus clouds starting to show up. So it may be partly cloudy as we head into the afternoon. Either way, you're still going to see a lot of sun, and temperatures will still make their way into the mid 80s. We've got cloud cover out west, thicker clouds from Del Rio down to Eagle Pass. Temperatures there 74, 77 in Kerrville, and 82 right now in Kennedy, and around Bexar County, right around 80 degrees, as I said. So nothing too warm, but we will make it into the mid-80s this afternoon. 85 here in San Antonio, 82 Boerne, 85 New Braunfels, 85 the forecast high in Seguin today. As we look at the bigger picture here, there is some rain across Texas. It's just not here. We've got some showers up across far north Texas, some showers and storms developing in the mountains far west Texas, and you typically see that around Fort Davis. The rain picks up this time of year, and then some showers along the coast. For us, what we're going to be watching is flow out of the north and west in the upper levels. That'll start to develop tomorrow, and as that happens, we could see some activity that develops very far away up in the Texas Panhandle. But if these storms can come together, sometimes they can hold all the way down into central and south Texas. So that's what I'll be watching Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It shows several rounds of this. Now, timing this out is nearly impossible. Depends on when these storms get started and what kind of outflows they put out. But the model is signaling that we could see a few of these complexes try to work a little bit closer, especially on Wednesday. That's the day I want to watch. But right now we have a 20% chance in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to account for that. 85 today, 88 Tuesday, 87 Wednesday, as we said, upper 80s all the way across the board. But it's the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday time frame. We'll watch for any sort of rain chance. We'll be right back.
We are kicking off
student, and not all of them were taught in the classroom. Life itself threw him a few curveballs.
Katrina Weber shows us how he overcame those obstacles and became our latest great graduate.
As he wraps up his final days within this building, Josiah Gonzalez already has his sights set on a few buildings in his future.
I plan to go to UTSA to study architecture.
Next semester, this East Central High School senior will start building his career at the home of the Roadrunners. The road to get to this point, though, has been a bit rocky.
I was really bottled up, and I really didn't show my emotion.
He struggled to hold it together during one of the toughest times of his life. At the height of the coronavirus pandemic, Josiah lost his father to that illness. He was his sports mentor and biggest inspiration.
Because of COVID, he had COVID, we couldn't really go in there. I wasn't able to see him, so that just really ate me up.
Both he and his family suffered, being forced to keep their distance as his father lost his battle. As a result, Josiah's grades also suffered. His mother worried for a while that he wouldn't make it through.
It was hard, but he came around. He came around and
He's a great guy. While what he learned within these halls prepared Josiah for his future, life itself taught him some lessons that go beyond the classroom. For starters, he says he has had to do a lot of growing up, and he ended up turning things around. Although this great graduate now feels ready for the world, he's still getting used to a world without his dad.
I realized, like, he's not here, and I'm not going to be able to celebrate this moment with him. But if I could say something to him, I'd tell him that I miss him, and I just hope he's proud of me.
Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
And we wish him well. Good luck in the future.
All right, let's take you downtown. Speaking of,
we were arguing about what you guys are going to be eating, how you pronounce that. Rugelach?
What was that?
Rugula. Yeah.
That was, okay.
Yeah, it's an Eastern European dish. Great. And the man who's going to be making it today is Jason Nuttall Fiskoop from Bubby's Jewish Soul Food. All right, the key to it is the dough.
Yes, it is. The secret, cream cheese. Yeah.
And so because the cream cheese is in the dough, if you're making it, what do you have to remember?
You have to remember that cream cheese will melt very quickly. Got to keep your hands cold, got to keep that dough cold.
How do you cut them so evenly?
Well, about 1 inch piece is the perfect size. Food for thought, everyone's thumb is about 1 inch from tip to knuckle.
The rule of thumb. All right, look at how good that looks. And that would go great with coffee, too. Speaking of which,
all right.
Deal of the day, free coffee. We're going to tell you how you can win that.
Yes, and Dr. Crystal Cross from A Chicago Bite is here, and we are making a classic Chicago dog, which has how many ingredients?
7.
And the key is?
The 7 ingredients and the sweet pickle relish.
That neon green pickle relish. All right, how about some cheesecake to top that off? Great Cheesecake Restaurant is opening up a location a little closer into town. All happy about that. And I had a chance to chat with a woman from Canada. She was one of the only female soldiers on the front line in Afghanistan. She's written a book and helping out other soldiers with PTSD.
So we want to make sure we give a shout out to all first responders today. Be sure to do that at SA Live KSAT on Facebook and Twitter if you want to see it in the show.
A whole lot more on SA Live. Stick around.